In the dazzling world of music legends, Michael Jackson, the king of pop, and Whitney Houston, known simply as The Voice, shared a public friendship that appeared flawless, brimming with mutual respect and admiration. Yet, beneath the surface of glittering award shows and charity events, a far more intricate, intimate, and heartbreaking story unfolded, one the world never fully understood. Tonight, we reveal the truth about the complex relationship between these two icons, a tale of unrequited love, industry pressures, and the tragic parallel paths that ultimately consumed them both. It was 1985, and the music industry was witnessing a historic moment. Michael Jackson had reshaped pop culture with Thriller, while a young Whitney Houston was rising to stardom with her debut album. Their first meeting sparked a connection that would profoundly shape their personal lives and legacies. The scene was a glamorous industry party in Beverly Hills, where music's elite gathered to celebrate. Michael, often shy in social settings, stood quietly in a corner, his iconic fedora shading his face. But that night, someone caught his eye. Whitney Houston entered, her radiant smile and ethereal beauty lighting up the room. At just 22, her voice was already captivating the world. When their eyes met across the crowded room, witnesses noted an undeniable spark, as if two kindred spirits had found each other. Michael, typically reserved around women, was drawn to Whitney's magnetic presence. Approaching her with rare confidence, their conversation flowed effortlessly, touching on music, fame, their shared Baptist roots, and dreams beyond the spotlight. What began as a chance encounter turned into hours of deep connection, their chemistry unmistakable to those around them. Michael's usual guardedness softened, and Whitney seemed enchanted by his vulnerability. By the evening's end, they exchanged personal phone numbers, a rare gesture for Michael. And as Whitney's limousine drove away, he watched her taillights fade into the Los Angeles night, sensing she would change his life forever. Unbeknownst to the public, Michael and Whitney spent countless hours on late-night phone calls, their conversations stretching into the early hours like teenagers in love. These weren't casual chats, but soul-bearing exchanges that revealed the profound loneliness both felt despite their fame. From Neverland Ranch, Michael would call Whitney, often at midnight, finding solace in her voice. Whether in New Jersey or a hotel room on tour, Whitney always answered. Their talks became a refuge from the pressures of stardom, a space where they could be themselves, not the icons the world demanded. Michael shared his insecurities, his changing appearance, the burden of supporting his family, and his yearning for normalcy. Whitney confided her struggles with industry expectations, her good girl image, and complex family dynamics. Friends later revealed Michael kept a dedicated phone by his bedside for Whitney, pacing Neverland during their calls, his voice animated in ways rarely seen. Whitney, curled up in her favorite chair, would talk until dawn, her security team waiting patiently outside. Their conversations weren't just about struggles. They shared laughter, musical ideas, and dreams of collaborations. Michael played unreleased songs for Whitney, valuing her input above all others, while she sang impromptu performances just for him, her voice a private gift. These calls raised eyebrows among their entourages. Michael's brothers noticed his uplifted mood after talking to Whitney, and her friends saw her light up at his name. It was clear to those around them that their friendship was deepening into something profound. That on February 28, 1988, at the 30th Annual Grammy Awards, a pivotal moment unfolded backstage. While the world watched Whitney's electrifying performance of I Wanna Dance with Somebody, few knew the emotional drama preceding it. Michael, nominated for multiple awards, had flown in to see Whitney perform. Backstage, their reunion was electric. Witnesses described Michael approaching her during rehearsals, his nervous energy palpable. When Whitney spotted him, her face lit up, and their embrace felt intensely private. In a quiet corner, Michael reportedly confessed his true feelings, baring his heart to his closest confidant. Whitney's expressions, surprise, tenderness, then regret, hinted at a response she couldn't fully give. Her performance that night, charged with raw emotion, left audiences in awe, while Michael watched from the wings, his face a mix of admiration and heartbreak. Afterward, they left together, their private conversation fueling decades of speculation. In the image-obsessed 1980s Hollywood, Michael and Whitney were trapped by their crafted personas. As their bond deepened, industry power brokers took notice, launching a campaign to keep them apart. Whitney's team, led by Clive Davis, had positioned her as the perfect pop princess, and a romance with Michael, whose eccentricities were drawing scrutiny, was seen as a threat. Emergency meetings and ultimatums followed, pressuring Whitney to prioritize her career. Michael's handlers, fearing a relationship would tarnish his mystique, subjected him to similar manipulation. Both were bombarded with market research and warnings of career ruin, convincing them their love was a liability. The cruel irony was that their connection could have inspired their greatest work, but the industry saw it as a risk. By 1989, cracks appeared in their relationship. Phone calls dwindled, public appearances together were discouraged, and their natural intimacy gave way to enforced distance. That year, Whitney's career soared, but her heart remained tied to Michael. Then Bobby Brown entered her life, changing everything. To the public, it was a whirlwind romance, but friends revealed it was a rebellion against industry control and an escape from her true feelings for Michael. Bobby, brash and unpolished, represented freedom from the expectations suffocating Whitney. Michael watched painfully as tabloids chronicled Whitney's tumultuous relationship with Bobby. He threw himself into his dangerous album, its themes of heartbreak reflecting his inner turmoil. When Whitney announced her engagement to Bobby in 1991, Michael retreated to his Neverland studio for 3 days, playing mournful melodies. Friends noted a permanent shift in him, his innocence replaced by a guarded edge. The night before her wedding, Whitney called Michael, tearfully explaining her choice to follow a path that made sense. Michael wished her well, hiding his devastation. As Whitney walked down the aisle, Michael played alone in his darkened studio, grieving what could have been. Throughout the 1990s, both stars faced parallel struggles. Michael's appearance and behavior grew erratic, overshadowed by allegations, while Whitney's marriage to Bobby became a tabloid saga of addiction and turmoil. Both isolated themselves, turned to substances, and watched their images crumble. Yet, they never fully let go of each other. Michael discreetly checked on Whitney's well-being, and she asked about him in moments of clarity, each carrying regrets about their lost connection. Between 1995 and 2005, secret meetings revealed their enduring bond. In 1995, they reunited in a Burbank studio, singing together in a magical, unrecorded session. In 1999, at a friend's Malibu estate, they walked the beach, sharing their pain and dreams of redemption. Whitney reportedly quoted, "As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others," a poignant reflection of their unfulfilled potential. These clandestine moments underscored a love that persisted despite the forces tearing them apart, a connection that could have saved them but was ultimately lost to the pressures of fame.